podcast.
Does it? No, Sensei!
Oh, yeah. Podcast time.
You know the part. And with the big slide.
Yep.
I would think I was just playing drums.
I don't know the difference between drums and guitar.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cobra Guys, the Cobra Kai podcast. My name is Mikey.
And my name is Jeremy, and here we are back in the dojo. We're not doing an episode review this week.
No episode review.
We've
this
concocted some other cockamamie scheme.
week. Yeah, man, it was something we had been wanting to do for a long time, and now we finally figured out an acceptable way to do it.
Tier list. We're doing the most badass Cobra Kai's tier list. Cobra Kai Karate Kid. It's all in the mix.
Yeah, the Cobra Kai, the Karate Kid saga continues. Most badass tier list.
The Miyagi-Verse tier list.
The Miyagi-Verse tier list. Absolutely.
Because, wait, is Mr. Han on this?
Damn it.
Well, I don't know. We haven't really seen that, though.
Yeah, and he's not Mr. Han, right?
Well, I know, but
Although
he at least was in that other Karate Kid movie.
But is that confirmed? Do we know the character's name?
No.
I don't, but I have kind of not been looking into it.
I don't, but
I just keep seeing trailers and kind of going, shit, I like that.
I kind of agree with you. Them putting Joshua Jackson in that was kind of a sneaky move.
I think they just... I hope someone just went, why isn't Joshua Jackson in more movies?
You know what I think? I think Joshua Jackson, like, a year and a half ago decided, like, I think I'm going to be in shit again.
Yep, definitely. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Because
he wasn't coincided right around the time when he got divorced.
I don't mean to get into celebrity gossip, but I think
hot
you might be
goss. Well, not hot goss. That's like lukewarm old goss.
It is, yeah.
But we love Joshua Jackson with all
big
our heart.
fans.
So
and Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan. So you put three of those guys in that movie. Looks like some badass karate fighting.
Seems like some guy.
Johnny might be in it.
So, yeah, dude. I'm already on board, and I wasn't on board for so long. I had all this trash I talked and said, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But if they fucking fully acknowledge the stuff that happened on the show, like even just by acknowledging it with one line, and there's a cameo from a character,
that'd be pretty cool.
Doggy, that'd be something. Because then I get to keep thinking about when I'm watching that Sam's out there, and Sam and Miguel have already had their year. What happened? What are they doing now?
Yeah.
Where is everybody? But then I can just get caught up in this kid's story where it seems like he's going to beat the crap out of everyone. This is one of them.
Pretty OP.
This feels like a karate kid that already knew a bunch of karate.
Yeah, it looks like he's teaching Joshua Jackson karate.
A part of the movie is going to be him teaching someone karate.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in for it. But no, none of those characters are on this.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the picture. We haven't seen it yet. So we are going to do a tier list.
And if you're listening on the podcast, go check out it on the YouTube video.
That's sort of the whole thing that made this possible. Because it's hard.
At Cobra Guys on YouTube.
Yep.
Or Cobra Guys on the podcast app, or both.
Absolutely. So that made this possible. Because it's harder to do a tier list like just talking about it.
Yeah.
Like every few minutes you'd be like, all right, guys, remember who's on tier A, we got.
Right. Like we at least need to be able to see it. And then if we're seeing it, you guys might as well see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll tell you what, though. We're doing a podcast without headphones on.
It's insane.
This is crazy.
This never happened.
This is.
I hope I sound good.
I hope I sound good,
I mean, the
too.
microphone's right in front of my face, so I'm assuming I do.
Yep. Shall we get into it proper, or is there anything else?
Oh, no.
Anybody want to go see the movie?
Yeah, come.
What the heck's going on?
Yeah, email us and tell us if you want us to come see the movie with us.
Travel across the world and or country.
Yeah, what the hell?
Because we are global.
Yep. No, that's it. Get your emails in for the next episode review, which will be what?
What is the episode, of course, is what you're asking me? Knowing I can't pause or do anything, it would be episode 13 of season 6.
There it is.
Whatever that one's called. The one after the one I didn't like with the Binary Bros.
Yeah, that one was called Rattled.
Yeah,
that was
Rattled,
the last one we did,
And by the end, I did realize that I did love a lot of the stuff in that one.
Yeah, it was just like no bad guys and no karate in
No
that
bad guys is ballsy, dude.
Yeah, true.
You have to. Your show has to go a certain distance before it can do no conflicts.
Definitely, you're right.
Conflict
Oh.
resolution.
That would be a good alternate title.
Yeah, good
for the
alternate. Yeah.
episode,
Oh, we're cooking on titles right now, though.
yeah.
But I'm
One but not forgotten. One of our greatest.
Yeah. Whoa, Mad About You.
Mad About You. Those are two.
Chef's kiss
We're
on
firing
both
all
of those.
cylinders when it comes to
Absolutely.
episode titles.
Definitely. So yeah, get your emails in, CobraGuys@hotmail.com. And I hope everybody enjoyed.
Comment below. We'll read the YouTube comments too.
Yeah. I hope everybody enjoyed the last Cobra Guys that we did. That was the hybrid of video and audio.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right. Let's get into it. Enough chitter chatter, dude.
Enough. What are we, Regis and Kelly,
Yeah.
or Regis and Kathy Lee, or Kelly and Michael,
Yeah.
or Kelly and her husband's on there now. Kelly and Mark.
Consuelo?
Yeah.
I think we're Kevin and Kevin
Who's that?
Eubanks. We're two Kevin Eubankses. I don't know about that one, Jay.
Oh man, Jay, that's a good one.
I love Kevin Eubanks.
He was the best.
I
The best band leader in late night all time.
mm,
I think he's pretty good. Soft audience,
I don't know.
And Leno
dude.
needs
There's
that.
some really good ones. That's a tough tier
Like who?
list, dude. Oh, well, I mean, The Roots is an excellent band.
Well, I meant band leader in that you throw to him to do jokes and stuff.
Questlove,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
But my first thought was, what's the guy that was on Seth Meyers? He was on
I
SNL.
didn't really watch that.
He was
Oh.
Fred Armisen.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, he
well,
was
that's
his
kind
band.
of like
OP.
That's OP.
And they really didn't even overuse it.
Yeah, that's because I like Max Weinberg, but I like Jimmy Vivino better.
I like Jimmy
guy.
Vivino better as
Yeah.
well. Jimmy Vivino, guys. But we're not here to
All right.
tier
We'll
list.
tier list that another time.
That's a different
You just
tier
let
list.
us, yeah.
So we're tier listing
focus.
the most badasses, and maybe not badasses, in all of the Cobra Kai Karate Kid
Exactly.
universe.
So
Not
we have-
all of them.
We have
but
68 characters here.
something about there.
Something
Yeah.
approximately.
Yep.
The 68 most badass Cobra Kai characters.
Yeah. If you're looking to build yourself a hellacious tier list online, nilly-willy, you head on over to opentierboy.com. Now, not a sponsor, because this is free for everyone, and it seems like the whole point of it, but I just want people to know, because I think doing tier lists is fun.
It is
and
fun.
I'm excited to finally be able to do them.
Even if you just invite your friends over and do a tier
Oh,
list, don't record
absolutely. Yeah, totally. Because we do it all the time. We constantly, we for a long time were working on a tier list for Epic Rap Battles of History.
it. That is true. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, when we were real into that.
Yeah.
But so hopefully there'll be more of these other badass tier lists.
Yeah. All right. Let's dive in.
Let's dive in. Okay. Up first, so hopefully this format's going to work out with the tier list where it is.
It will.
Yeah,
This is gonna
but
be
I think
great.
it's more fun to not necessarily know who we're going to next.
Okay.
For the viewer, I don't know. I'm deciding what's fun for you, but I think that's how content works. Aisha Robinson.
All right. Right off the bat
It's
with
alphabetical.
Aisha. Okay, great.
So what are our tenants? Oh, first of all, do we have somebody? We don't have. We should start off.
Obviously, the
This is our
S tier
field.
fighter in. Oh well, it's not even that.
No,
it's not
it's not
even
fighting.
It's not fighting. It's most badass. But the most badass guy is Mr. Miyagi.
Yes.
Right.
So
Because he's so badass, he doesn't need to act badass, and he'll pretty much beat the shit out of everybody.
So let's get Mr. Miyagi.
And he kicked off the whole
Fuck
universe.
The Fs, yeah. And we throw Mr. Miyagi in the S, just so we
Love
have
it.
somewhere to build off of.
Love it.
Now, badasses. What do they have to do?
Well, it's really dependent on their situation.
Yeah, you're right. What's the deal you've been dealt in life? Because
Yeah.
bad guys are badass just as
Of
much
course.
as good guys are badass.
Of course.
Totally. You're right. Okay, so Aisha, let's talk about it.
Slightly badass. She's on the scale.
Yeah. Johnny said that she was a
Natural Cobra.
Cobra, yeah. She can be in the Cobra guys.
She beat up Miguel the first time they fought.
Yeah. My main thing that she did that's not badass right out the gate
All right.
is she lost.
When she ate all those Cheetos.
No, I love
at
that.
the dance?
No, I like that. I'd have been like, hey, you stop eating those Cheetos just because I want a piece of
You would have fallen in love.
Yeah,
You met at the Cheetos.
Yeah, we met at the Cheetos table. I'm not into a chick that's going to beat me up, though.
No, not.
I mean, she can know karate. I just don't want her to want to beat me up.
Yeah.
Not that Aisha. I don't know where I'm going.
Weren't we just talking to somebody who was dating another? He was a karate guy, and he was dating a karate chick, and she beat him up.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
gonna mention who it was, but pretty funny. You didn't seem that butthurt about it.
No.
Taking it like a champ.
Yes, absolutely. Just moving myself over a little bit there.
So.
Oh, is that she lost like a giant baby? That's my thing that I think isn't badass.
In the tournament.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
Yeah,
Bro, we have technical difficulties.
What's going on, dude?
Continue. You continue.
So I don't think she's an F because she did not learn karate. She did beat up her bully. That's badass, right?
Yes.
But yeah, she was really pouting pretty hard after she lost in the tournament.
She's Super Team Johnny.
Super Team Johnny, yeah.
That's badass.
That makes you badass.
Yeah. And she helped. I was going to say she helped all that social media, but that's not really badass.
No, social media is not badass.
No.
I mean, it's useful. It's a nice tool. It's fun, but it's not badass. C.
C. Okay. All right. I can do C.
I mean, she's really not even in the top 20 fighters.
So she's behind Jeremy.
Yeah, she's in there.
She's in there, guys. See, there she is. No, I moved.
Wow, you blipped me out like you're cute.
I blipped you out. Yep.
I love that.
Now you're back.
All right.
Okay. Up next, Allie Mills. This is alphabetical, so it's going to get nuts.
Great. Allie Mills.
Allie's badass.
Allie is badass. I think so.
I guess
she told Johnny his business. She told Daniel his business.
Yep. She brought peace to the valley so that we
should have had a scene where Allie told Kreese to go fuck himself.
Yeah.
That'd have been cool.
Yep. Telling Kreese to go fuck himself is pretty badass. I mean, yeah, we should, if they do have, just being really good at karate also boosts you. It's like Miyagi has everything.
Yeah.
He's karate badass. He's funny badass even. He just has an air of excellence that isn't braggadocious.
Yeah.
Sort of a.
He's S tier.
Yeah.
He's got big dick energy.
Badass dick energy is what I like to call it.
Yeah.
But Allie Mills, where do we sit?
More badass than Aisha.
Definitely.
So B?
At least B.
At least B.
At least B.
Yeah.
And can we change them? Or once you're in, you're in.
You're in.
I don't know, because that sometimes the scale.
Okay.
I guess it has to mean something.
Yeah, I think we should stick to it. If we put her in B, she's a B.
Yeah. I mean, you could take last looks and say, well, that was foolish.
Good point.
We didn't
You're
realize what we were doing. We might go, once you see how badass all the people are, maybe it falls around C, and you're like, Aisha's not as badass as, whoever the next person is. Or, all right, but the next person is Amanda LaRusso. Right away, is Amanda LaRusso more badass than Allie Mills?
I know, that is a great, she did do that thing where she smashed that guy's windows with her baseball bat.
Yep.
That is badass, even though it is unhinged behavior.
Yeah. She did tell Kreese to go fuck himself.
You're right.
So we were just talking about how badass that would have been if Allie could have got to do that.
That is true. And she tells Daniel his business all the time. I mean, it's her husband, but...
Yeah.
Does she tell Johnny his business?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that Johnny listens to Amanda.
Well, definitely, yeah.
Remember when she called him into the office in season 6 to talk to him? I forget exactly what.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, she brought him in, and he was like,
all right.
Oh, yeah, like when he was going to quit, and she was like, Johnny, you're not going to quit, dude.
Yeah.
To be able to control Johnny is pretty badass.
I agree.
How
many times are we going to say badass on this?
I know, I was just thinking
a lot.
Yeah, that could get...
We'll find clever ways around it.
Yeah,
don't worry.
totally.
Where does this person rank on the list?
Yeah. What are we talking? B tier? I mean, is Amanda...
At least as equal to Allie.
Yeah. I'm happy with... I could go B.
Let's go B. Yep.
This is not the most responsive. I mean, again, thank you so much, Open Tier Boy, but, a little loosey-goosey.
We're in the market for something a little... Doesn't come
if
in
anybody
black,
out there
knows,
if anybody knows what's the sweet tier list, hook up. They could let us know. Up next on the list, we have Anoush.
Anoush. All right.
Anoush.
Right off the bat, I'm going to say F.
Me too.
Because, yeah, I mean, he's a regular guy. I no offense to him. He's funny, but that's not necessarily
sorta like,
badass. He gets a lot of
chicks.
Hey,
yo.
I'm supposed to be watching my language.
I don't know, dude. Of all people, I guess this is something that a mom might think, but she's like, are you allowed to swear on the internet?
Yeah. Well, remember you said that, and I said, well, the angry video game nerd swears all the time.
Yeah. But that, does that affect stuff if you're trying to be successful?
Fine. I'll say he gets a lot of chicks. That's what I'll say then.
Yeah. He's knee deep in sexual encounters.
In women. Oh. Sexual encounters. Yeah. Sorry.
I said it better.
Jesus. Was that bad? Oh, my God. I don't know what to say anymore.
You're not even allowed to say women, dude. Come on, man.
Some people say females.
Oh, that's
seem
what
appropriate.
Klingons say.
No, that's what Ferengi called them.
If you refer, how are the human females?
Anush, you're an F, dude. You're not badass at all. Johnny kicked your ass. It was awesome.
Get in there. Yeah, he's in there, guys. See him? He's behind Jeremy. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh, they know who's next. Uh-oh, this is going to be an interesting one.
Anthony LaRusso. I think...
Whoops. Oh, my God.
What do you think? C?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the bottom tier of badass because he did kind of step up a little bit and learn a little more karate and stop being a wuss.
Yeah, and it was badass of him to give himself his own comeuppance.
Yeah, when he drank that stuff to make him poop.
Drank the duty juice,
That's true. Yeah, and you know what? That was badass because he was like, yeah, I know I didn't do it, but, this is the only way he's going to get squashed.
Yeah, it's the only, and you know who made that all happen?
Amanda. So he's way less badass than his mom, but still more badass than Anush.
So I think we're talking about C-level badass.
Yep.
We got a C-level badass on the line. All right. I love it when a tier list starts coming together.
So far, it's looking pretty good to me.
All right. Well, look out because things might be about to pick up as far as being badass goes.
Yeah.
Axel Kovacevic.
I think it's a pretty easy A.
Right, because it would... You can't say that Axel is just as badass as Amanda LaRusso. That doesn't sound right.
No, that doesn't sound right. And you also can't... Is he as badass as Mr. Miyagi?
No, he's not an S-tier badass.
Yeah, exactly. Because that other guy beat him up.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, it's
his
sad.
His sensei, abuses him, so...
Yeah, and being able to break out of the shackles of that abuse. He does do... Does he do that?
He does doo-doo.
Oh, yep. Come on, man. Doo-doo counter. What's it at? He breaks free of his shackles of abuse.
That is true.
By the end, which is one of the most badass things you could do.
That's true.
But I think we're going to throw our list into chaos
if we put him in S. He's got to be an A.
He has to be an A.
He's an
right? Because he's badass. Who doesn't like Axel?
Yeah, some people don't like him. They've said it in the emails.
Yeah, I like him because of
I like the archetype.
I like the character of the Frankenstein's monster. I like that part, that he's just this big, mysterious, angry, powerful force of nature.
Ivan Drago style.
Yeah, and isn't it nice to have an Ivan Drago?
Yeah, and like that guy tried to kill him and he just swatted him away.
Yeah,
didn't even know he was about to get killed.
Reversal.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know I was going to reverse you into death. My bad. All right, excellent. There we go.
That makes sense.
Swinging on into the tier list, Young Bert.
Bert. All right, well, Bert had been around a long time. He never stopped doing karate.
Yeah, do you think Bert's a fan favorite?
I would say so.
Do you like Bert?
Nope.
No, I don't give a shit about
Bert's
Bert.
a little dork.
I don't like...
No, he's fine.
Yeah.
That was awesome in the last season when he blocked that punch. That was the fucking coolest thing he ever did.
Yep.
Definitely badass points for that. But
he had some good funny scenes. The scene where Johnny's pissing all over his car.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's mostly
We're
Johnny
all gonna
being
die,
funny.
Kid. No,
yeah,
I mean, but it was him,
Bert's funny, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
But we're not here to talk about the funniest, but being funny is badass.
Is he C tier?
I don't think so, sir.
Bert's F tier.
Badass? Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
The most badass thing he did was finally block a punch, dude. That's a low bar you've set.
He remained a nerd the whole time.
You either bring Bert can go up to C if fucking Anthony can go to B, because Anthony's more badass than Bert. And that's the bottom line.
You're right. Bert's F.
Sorry, Bert. You're used to this, probably.
Probably, yep.
Bert, you're with a noosh. Whatever that means.
I mean, could Bert beat up a noosh? I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you had to then put a hierarchy of the Fs, Bert's at the top right now. Bert's the top dog of the F tier. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Everyone else in the F tier must bow before Bert.
Yep.
So that's pretty badass. Of course, It's just a noosh. Okay. Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown.
Talking about Bobby Brown.
Pretty badass. Right?
Really, Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown, the OG Cobra. Way more badass than Anushin Burt.
I got him the OG picture of him here with his Luke Skywalker haircut.
Yep, totally. He looks great. He's a good bald guy too.
Yeah.
You know? We counting the whole width and breadth of his life?
100%.
Okay.
Everything that we've
Well,
seen.
he became a pastor.
Yeah, you have to count
Is that
everything you
badass?
saw on the show, right?
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, he became a pastor. Is that badass? Being a conduit for fucking...
I mean, it's certainly something.
I'm going to do those videos
The
where
man
I point at
upstairs?
everything, but I'm just going to use him.
He stood up to the Cobras when they were trying to kill Daniel LaRusso in the original movie.
Yes.
He said, "No, Johnny, don't kill him, man."
Yep.
Which was badass in some ways. You know, standing up against your friends. And
Yeah,
your,
that
and your
takes a lot of
sensei's,
takes a lot of
lessons.
courage.
Yeah. So I would say B.
B tier?
Yeah.
Yep, up there with Allie and Amanda.
Yeah.
That's nice company. The B's are nice so far.
Totally.
Well, Amanda can be not nice.
Yeah, but
So,
know,
yeah.
she's likable.
Yes, she is likable. Affable as fuck. Affable AF, I guess. Up next, we have our close friend, Bong Rips.
Bong Rips Brooks.
Bong Rips Brooks goes to MIT, don't you know?
He does, yeah.
That's pretty cool. What was that again? Machine Institute teachings?
Yeah, something.
Yeah. Like HVACs and stuff?
Yeah,
Washing machines?
definitely. Shit.
Brooks is cool.
Yeah, he
Bong
is cool.
Rips in skinny dips.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? You think that's badass? It's badass in like
It's cool.
Yeah. He seems like he would fit in Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, and like he's a big guy, but he's happy to pop his shirt off.
Yep.
You know, which
Yeah.
that's kind of, I guess it's badass.
He's shameless.
He's always got Kyler's back.
That's badass.
He's willing to throw down.
He's 100% willing to throw down.
You know,
He's at least a C. I can hear more about it if you think.
No,
but
he's
that's
a
where
C.
I have him.
He's a C. Because when it came time to step up his badassness, he got demolished by Hawk.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. That's true. He got just decimated.
Yeah.
Reduced by 1/10 of his power at
But,
least.
you know, he bounced back. It's cool.
Yeah. Yep. That's true. Okay. Who do we got up next?
Captain Turner.
Captain Turner. You know, you got to think this guy, he knew the Tong Sudo. He knew the master of Kim Sun Young.
He made up No Mercy.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. The snakes, guys, it starts with him, I think, although he
Well,
probably
he
got
didn't
taught.
say this is snake karate.
Yeah, but we ended up learning that Master Kim was into snake stuff.
You're right. So you must have told him about the snakes.
Yeah.
I gotta say A.
Yeah, you're right. Captain Turner didn't put all the snakes in the snake pit. Well, he might have put some of them in there, but at gunpoint.
Yeah, right, exactly.
A, huh?
You think that's too high?
Now, is there a level where you're no longer badass because you're too mean or cruel? Is being just part of being badass?
Is a very open term, you know?
Yeah, but in the Cobra Guy's dojo, what does being badass mean?
Good point.
That's like our favorite word. When we first heard it, we're like, oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
badass.
I
That's
like
what
that. I think
that's what you got to be.
I think I want to be that. I think I like that way that sounds, and I want to be whatever I think that is.
Definitely. Yeah, right, because you've been corrupted.
Yeah.
You're too mean. You're a
You're
prick.
too mean. You can't take that shit out in the world.
That's a good point. Because then you're being a dumbass.
A stupid ass, yeah. But that is the world that Captain Turner is currently living in, where he needs to be taking no prisoners, and he needs to have everybody focused.
Yeah, that's true.
He is a soldier.
But is it badass to, like, sell out your guy to save your own life? That sounds like a pussy move to me. Remember, he was like, he sabotaged him right before they were going to fight?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pussy shit.
That's pussy shit.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
not badass.
Yep. And, yeah, it's not badass to keep the secret from fucking Kreese that his girlfriend died or You know?
Yeah, you're right.
That's not badass.
That's not badass.
That's just not badass.
That's a scumbag move.
That's scumbag stuff is what that is.
All right.
So I don't know if I like him at A because I don't think he is that badass.
Well, I don't like him at B because those people are all honorable.
I agree. I think he might be C because he's a
Even
douche.
though he's like a karate military guy who taught Kreese karate.
But I don't know if I want that
Get outta here, pal.
brainwashed
I
dummy
agree.
stuff. And John Kreese defeated him. He very quickly learned everything he needed from that guy and spit him out.
True.
Into the snake pit.
You're right.
He
He's
said,
put a footnote on Cobra Kai history.
Yeah, I'm the one who does snake shit, pal.
By the way, this is snake karate.
Yeah. So
You didn't even know that.
I'm thinking C.
Yeah. C. I mean, sure. Could he beat all those guys up? Yes, but they're children.
Yeah. I mean, if we're gonna, we could even go into the.
Yeah. We'll tier list the each
tier
tier.
list the tiers. Yeah. Oh, get out of there.
Anoush, you go behind Bert in the F tier.
I know. I have the image. It's really all right behind you right at the beginning. Maybe that was a poor design choice.
I'll lean out of the way.
You know, well, I can.
Confusing.
I can just take you out entirely.
Too, yeah.
So you're still hearing voice, but
All right.
I could move you over.
Up next, Carmen Diaz.
All right, let me get Carmen Diaz. What do you think? Moms are badass. She's a double mom. So is Amanda. Amanda's a double mom too.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, she adopted Robbie. Is that what you're saying?
Oh no,
Is that the double mom part?
I forgot. No, I just meant she had another kid and she already had a kid.
Carmen. Oh yeah, she's
You remember Miguel did? Do you remember the entire Miguel?
Never seen the show. What is this about?
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Very badass.
I keep moving you around. I'm not sure where you
insane.
should go.
It should just be there. You guys,
there.
you know.
Yeah, it's there. And then I kept grabbing both of us. It was a whole situation. Carmen is badass because she had to fend
flee.
for her.
Anybody who flees
Fleeing
gets
is
one
tough.
badass point. So you're out of the F.
Yep.
Single mom.
Single mom.
Very badass.
Yep.
Putting up with Johnny's bullshit.
Yep.
Very badass.
Takes care of her mom. Mickey's abuela.
Yeah, that's true. But she also helps.
Yeah, she does.
You know.
And I don't think she would have it any other way.
Of course, that's family.
But it's just solid.
She's
not like, outwardly badass like some characters who will start shit are badass.
Like she never told Kreese to go fuck himself.
Yeah, we do seem to have
that is
a fuck off-ometer. But she did tell Johnny to go fuck himself.
When she called him a little baby?
No, like way
What, is
earlier.
this your crib, you little baby? Oh.
No, like when she broke Miguel and was like, don't fucking come
Miguel
near my
got
son
beat
ever
up.
again. Yeah.
True. But Johnny was a loser.
Yeah. But so that was badass of her to cut him off then. That was the right thing to do.
I mean, it was the right thing to do.
For sure. So what are we talking?
B or C?
Oh man, we're gonna put we're saying Carmen's not as badass as Amanda and Allie.
I don't.
That's
think
Johnny's soulmate.
I don't think she is.
Or Allie was Johnny's soulmate.
She does like Metallica.
Yeah, Johnny's badass, so she's into badasses. That's badass.
True.
In and of itself.
But she's
pretty chill.
Mild mannered. Is that an appropriate term?
I mean, she's like
it's not a negative term. Superman's mild mannered.
Yeah. I mean, if this was a tier list of real people in the world,
functional people.
Yeah,
that'd be a whole different list.
She'd be an S tier.
Yeah.
Because she's a nurse and she's a single mother and she's done all these things. And she is still a very nice person. She's generally caring about everyone. And she does take in Robbie. So if it was the nicest people.
Yeah. It's a C.
I guess that there is a direct correlation between aggression and being badass because Allie and Amanda are both more aggressive than Carmen.
True, but Mr. Miyagi not aggressive at all, but his complete lack of aggression is what makes him badass.
Yeah, he'll destroy your testicles. You know what I mean? So there's an aggression in that. He doesn't have to blow out as many balls as he does with his little kick.
Well, it's the easiest way to take you out, I guess.
No, he could use the fucking pressure points. He's been nabbing dudes in the dick for years. We don't even know all the dudes that he kicked in the penis.
It is true. That guy that stole the necklace.
Yeah,
cockshot.
But I'm talking about like after the movies.
Yeah.
He probably still kicked a few dudes in the dick.
True.
Someone bumped into fucking little kid Sam on the sidewalk. Boom, nuts, gone. That's a good grandfather.
Yeah, it's a great grandfather. Well, it's a good regular grandfather.
All right, Carmen Diaz, C.
C tier. But she's the top of C
She's
tier.
the top, yeah. And you know what? Anthony's more
Turner.
badass than Captain Turner. But Captain Turner's more badass than Bong Rips and Aisha.
Yep, for sure.
Okay, up next. That's right. Let me move Jeremy out of here the way for a second. Oh, shit, it's Carrie Underwood.
It's Carrie Underwood,
It's
everybody.
Carrie
It's
Underwood.
Carrie Underwood, y'all.
Carrie Underwood's, y'all.
Is it badass that they called you to be on Cobra Kai?
I don't know. It makes me think like the thing about what's the guy who got her to perform? Which one of the
Ron.
members? Ron. Yeah. Seems like that had happened IRL. Someone just had it in. Someone knew. Someone had the same dentist.
Yeah.
On the set.
I think the canon of the show is that Ron got her to do it, and then everybody, just like when they watched the show, was like, "What the fuck is Carrie Underwood doing here?"
Ron's
and then they fired Ron from the Karate Council.
That's true. Ron did have to leave.
Yeah.
So how badass is Carrie Underwood on Cobra Kai? She's wearing an Eagle Fang karate jacket in the picture.
Mm-hmm, that's cool.
She, hellacious performer.
Hellacious.
Yeah,
I can't
powerful.
say that she's more badass than Bert, though. I mean,
No.
Bert took like 5 years of karate.
Yeah, but I
Stuck
bet
to it, even though he's a little nerd.
I bet Carrie Underwood would destroy Bert.
Well, yes, maybe that.
She has powerful legs.
All right, are you saying C tier?
Fit. No, I think she's F because
But she's number one in the F.
Yep,
because she's rich and famous. So that's
absolutely
pretty badass.
Yeah, and she's cooler than Bert and Anoush.
Definitely,
probably. I mean, Anoush is kind
he's
of cool,
pretty
but in
charming.
a gross way.
Yeah, definitely.
All the like wanting to get laid stuff, which I guess is gone now because he met Vanessa.
That is true.
Up next, Chosen Taguchi.
That's an easy A.
Yeah.
Are you thinking S?
Kind of. Why? Well, let's get our guy up here.
Yeah.
Sorry, ladies. Let's get him up there. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
All right. Reasons why Chosen could.
Super good at karate.
Yeah.
Could pretty much beat everybody up.
Yeah.
Almost everybody.
Yep.
Plays
for keeps.
Plays for keeps, for sure.
Plays
badass
for keeps.
black suit.
Yep.
I mean,
does it well.
The floral shirts aren't badass, but they kind of are.
No, they are. I think they are because the black suit, looking sharp in a black suit, anybody
can do that.
could be badass in that.
Yeah.
But then when he's like got big flower patterns, and then he fucking disables all your limbs, or he's fighting you with a fucking sword or something. He fights with a sword. That's pretty badass.
That is badass.
I mean, if he is A, he is the number one A. He's top
Yeah.
dog in there. I just don't.
What's not badass about Chosen?
I guess.
I mean,
The way the
even-
show would have us believe is that he's emotionally, not weak.
He was
the
in a
right
bad
word.
place.
Yeah, he fucking turns to drinking awfully quick. That's not badass.
True. Judgy, but true.
No, and I don't even think that because I'd probably end up giving Johnny badass points for all his drinking. So, Short Island iced tea's funny. Also,
It is funny. He is
Chosen's
funny.
very funny.
Yeah.
I mean, not in a million years would he ever be a B. But I just
No way.
Maybe it's the Axel of it all, where
It doesn't feel right.
Yeah,
Yeah, but Axel, you've seen less of him, so it's easier to be badass.
that's true.
We spent more time with shows, and that's why they had to introduce, flaws and things that aren't badass.
Yeah, but then
Even when he was in Karate Kid 2, even though he was being super evil, he fucking came down on a zip line
that's badass
in a scorpion costume.
Dude, coming down a zip line in a scorpion costume is S tier
I mean,
badass.
then he held a lady with a knife, which I can't say that's badass. Don't do that.
Well, it's not badass. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But it was a badass moment that Daniel then had to figure out.
Well, Daniel Liver died him.
yeah, that's pretty badass.
That was badass.
Yeah.
But that was more Daniel's.
All right, A.
A. Yep.
Chosen's an A. All right, up next, Chris.
See? Kind of middle bottom.
Middle bottom C.
What has he done that's badass other than, kind of kick a
Edmonton.
little bit of ass?
Yeah, but he was a real follower.
Yeah. Well, he did. He was amongst the first to
That's
leave
true.
Cobra Kai and join Miyagi-Do and then apologize.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You know?
Yep. He followed, but then he realized the error of his ways. You got to give him points for that.
But even though Mr. Miyagi is a badass, being Miyagi-Do doesn't necessarily make you badass.
That's true. He is slow and stupid.
Is he stupid?
The show will have you believe that he's stupid.
Yeah.
100%. What
They're
do you
both
mean?
stupid,
If I'm
right?
supposed to base, yeah, they are both stupid.
Yeah.
100%. But like Dimitri's insulting Chris, and he doesn't even really understand how much he's insulting.
He's calling him an ignoramus. That's what smart people call dumb people.
But even later, there's things that he just doesn't get. There's multiple.
Yeah.
The show will have. I'm not saying he's stupid.
No, I
They
agree
are
with you.
saying he's stupid.
Yes, exactly.
I think he's an F. I don't think. What has he ever done that's badass?
Well, you beat up Assface.
That's not badass. That's you don't even get to be on the list if you got beat up by Assface. So just beating him is how you could stay
All right.
on the
I
list.
mean, I'll go with it. F. It's fine. I would say C, but F is fine.
You think that Chris is as badass as Carmen Diaz?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You think that Chris is as badass as Captain Turner?
You're right.
Are you out of your mind,
You're right.
sir?
I'm sorry.
This guy. First tier list? Gosh. Wait, it is. Okay. Cousin Louie.
F.
Yeah.
Him and Anush fought each other and nobody won.
Yeah, and he's constantly causing problems that are not. It's not badass to constantly be causing headaches for Daniel and the family.
Yes. I mean, he did clean his act up, and that's great. But you didn't. You know, the way you handled that Johnny situation, I guess.
Yeah, I am going to put him
above Anush.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because he's a big dude. He's like 6'2".
Yeah.
You know? Of course he's more badass than Anush.
Definitely.
And he's more badass than Chris. But Bert versus Cousin Louie, that'd be a good fight.
Well, because they're both comic relief, which is badass in its own way.
Yep.
That's funny. We got a real pyramid going here.
Yeah.
Descending. All right. Which makes sense. It should be hard to get to S.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if we're going to get much competition from our next offering. Cruz.
Cruz, as in Trey and Cruz.
Yes, Cruz of Trey and Cruz.
That's an F, dude.
Dude, obviously that one's an F. And now look, our pyramid is fucking perfect.
Wow.
Whoop. Cruz is trying to fucking
Escape.
hold on. He's less badass than Anush and Chris.
He is. It's true.
It's really not even close.
Nope.
Hold on, let me disappear you here for a second. Let's get an update on the list.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Damn. Cruz, Chris, Anush, Louie, Burt, and Carrie Underwood, who's clearly the most badass.
Yeah.
She's just not as badass as Carmen Diaz and Captain Turner and Aisha Robinson. Maybe Aisha. But, all right. Uh-oh. Do we see who's next? Do you see it?
Yep. The Karate Kid himself.
Daniel LaRusso. Now.
What do you think? I mean, he can beat everybody at karate.
100%. He is the best.
Yeah.
There's a reason that Daniel didn't fight in
He's
the
the
last
best
fight
around.
because he just would have beat Wolf.
Yes.
Straight up.
Yes.
He's in better shape just because he's lived a cleaner life than Johnny. There's a bunch of reasons.
It's true.
But it's like, and then once he learned the pressure points, dude, come on.
Yep.
And now he's also learned Johnny's karate.
Yep.
Which he
true.
uses. Sometimes he's
Goes
got
full
that
Cobra Kai.
And he's got that fire in him. He's
Yep.
been in Cobra Kai. He has an attitude problem.
Live or die, man.
Live or die, man?
I mean, come the fuck on.
That's Miyagi levels of badass.
Yep.
If anyone could be as badass as Mr. Miyagi, he'd be his number one.
He took the lessons he learned from Mr. Miyagi, found a different mentor, learned how to sell cars, fucking worked his way up, became
loved mentors.
Now he's the dad that owns a dealership.
And he's mentor to
S.
tens and tens of Karate Kids.
S.
Yeah.
And he's always trying to do his best.
Yep. And he's a good
Except
guy.
He was a prick in the beginning, but
Technically, he was a prick. That's true.
S tier, Daniel LaRusso,
Excuse me, fellas. Just got to step
the
on
Karate
up.
Man.
Yeah, the
Do you
Karate
think
Man.
Daniel would
Yes.
beat Axel in a fight? I think he would.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just
I
you do
literally
Muppet arms at him.
I literally don't think there's anyone that could beat Daniel one-on-one.
Yeah. Mr. Miyagi. Of course he could. It'd be easy.
Yeah, I did not teach you everything.
Yeah,
Boom.
he would just one beat him because Daniel wouldn't want to fight Mr. Miyagi.
Why does Mr. Miyagi want to fight Daniel?
Well, I don't know. Mr.
Oh,
Miyagi
you can't make
just
up
fight
half
everybody.
the thing.
Well, that was the whole last season.
How old is Miguel?
He has
I
so
mean,
many
how old is
issues.
Mr. Miyagi?
Same. They're the same age. They're both 60.
All right, nobody can beat 60-year-old Mr. Miyagi, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Oh boy, I see who's next. Yeah, but my hair gets cut off in the little photo there.
Yeah. Well, I could give you a little headroom, dude.
It's a delicate balance, my
It's a
friends.
delicate balance, guys.
You know?
YouTube's hard.
It is. It really is.
Daryl?
Yeah, Daryl.
Daryl.
F. You think?
Yeah, but wherein? Is Daryl more badass than Chris?
Yes.
Agreed. I think he goes right where he is.
Yeah.
Daryl's,
After Anoush.
Anoush is one.
No, Daryl's more badass than Anoush.
But Daryl's not more badass than Cousin
No,
Louie.
he is.
He is?
Yeah.
Shit. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Is Daryl more badass than Bert?
No.
Can't be done.
Bert's taken many a kick to the face.
That's true.
You know,
You're right.
Gets right back up.
That's pretty badass. You trying to get Bert into the seas, dude?
I'm just telling you, what I think.
Blockbuster trade. Ready?
Okay.
Bert for Aisha.
Yes. 100%.
Oh, shit, dude.
Bert, you're going to C tier. Aisha, you're going to F tier. Sorry.
But you are going to surpass Carrie Underwood.
Yeah, because you could beat her up.
Yeah. Because Aisha, well, she moved away, but she also gave up and lost like such a baby. Bert never lost like a baby.
Yeah, you're right.
I hated Aisha's attitude when she lost in that All Valley.
Mm-hmm. And then she moved away and stopped doing karate. Not
Yeah.
very badass.
That's kind of a punk ass is what that is. You don't want a badass? You could be a pumpkin ass. That's what you are. Uh-oh.
Oh, shit. The man.
D. Snyder.
D. Snyder. D. Snyder's pretty badass.
I mean, he's got a badass jacket. He got Miguel to be able to use his legs again.
Yep.
That's pretty badass.
Yep, with the power of rock.
Yep.
He's a rock star. That's pretty badass.
Oh, boy.
Although it didn't do much for Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
He wasn't Twist's sister dressed like a crazy woman.
Yeah.
Which was badass for
That
the
was
time.
badass. We weren't going to take that.
Didn't he go to Congress and tell those guys to go fuck themselves one
All
time?
right. Well, he was in C. Where's D.
I think
Snyder
he might
going?
go in B.
No, I can't. I can't.
You ever seen that thing where he tells those government guys what's up?
I love when guys.
Oh my God, it was awesome.
I love when guys go tell Congress what's
Yeah.
up. Like when Jelly Rolls was telling them all about the fucking
fentanyl.
Oh, that's the best.
Yep. He
Or
was telling them like what's up about art.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool.
So C tier. Yeah. That's fair. Yeah.
I think D. Snyder is almost as badass as Carmen.
I think so
I
too.
think that, and I think
Yep.
Johnny would agree. He'd be like, D. Snyder is badass, but my wife is the most badass.
Mhm.
They're like, even more badass than Allie? He's like, what? I don't want to talk about what you just said to me. All right. Dimitri Alexopoulos, dude. Full named his ass.
Not very badass.
Not very badass,
You
but
know?
way more badass than Bert. He got a smoking hot girlfriend. That's badass.
That's
With
true.
his karate prowess
Yeah.
and confidence.
That is true.
It's the swagoo she liked.
All right. You're right.
Not wanting to lose. Not wanting to be a pussy.
Stop being a loser.
Yeah. Don't be a pussy. He said, okie dokie, I can do that for you, my sweet, my love, my goddess.
So you telling me B?
I think he stood up to Hawk, kicked his ass through a fucking trophy thing.
Told everyone he peed his pants.
That wasn't badass, but it was cutthroat. I don't know
You know
if
what's not
that's the
badass?
same.
Refusing to go along with somebody's cool nickname.
Yeah.
That's loser shit.
That is loser shit. Oh, man, but I don't feel... We maybe should have had 7 tiers up in this piece, dude. No.
You don't think you can go in C? Maybe
The new king of C, but I
No.
hate to...
no.
You
He
think
goes
Har-
after
yeah.
D. Snyder. D. Snyder's had tons of hot girlfriends.
I think
bet.
that. Yeah, you're right. If we're going with my how many hot girlfriends do they have? Then yeah.
Yeah.
And Carmen has had more hot girlfriends than D.
Have
Snyder.
all the hot girlfriends
Yeah.
she wants.
Both Johnny and Hector the Salazar are
Yeah.
very handsome,
It's true. Yeah. Yep.
and those are just the 2 dudes that we know about.
Mhm.
I'm not saying anything
Jesus,
untoward.
dude.
I'm just saying.
Dig down
she's-
deeper.
I'm just saying. A lot of people have fallen in love with Carmen Diaz.
Yes.
All right,
Dennis Guzman.
Dennis Guzman, Dennis de
Oh,
Guzman.
Dennis de Guzman.
Senor de Guzman's.
Okay.
What do you think
cool.
about Dennis?
Hmm.
Pretty badass because
He's a karate fighter for
Yeah.
hire. He's a goon.
he was so badass he didn't need his name to be Snake.
Yeah, you're right.
He said, "No, I'm good with Dennis."
Dennis.
They're like, "Dennis what? Like Dennis Sanders? De Guzman." I don't know where you're from, dude.
So he's not F tier.
No. He's way more badass than Bert.
You're right.
And that's how you fall to F tiers, be less badass than Bert. Is Dennis de Guzman more badass than Carmen Diaz? He's kind of a punk though, like he's a goon.
Yeah, he's a goon.
So goons can't rise high.
He's a C tier.
Even the most badass goon.
And think about him, like, yeah, he was a little more badass in the Cobra Kai, but in Karate Kid 3, he was totally just a goon.
Yeah, it's funny when Daniel flashes back after he realizes who Dennis is, he flashes back to beating his ass in Mr. Miyagi's Tiny Trees.
Yes, he does.
So, all right, Dennis de Guzman, where in the seas? I do believe Dennis de Guzman is more, you know what, I actually think Anthony's more badass than Dimitri because Anthony takes responsibility. He's accountable for his actions, even though his actions were he did a lot of bad stuff. So did Dimitri, and Dimitri never
really owned up to it.
Yeah, it's like Hawk wanted to apologize so bad, and he wanted to apologize that they. That it's almost like their shit doesn't count with each other because they're such best friends. I'm switching in.
Do it.
I'm switching Anthony up, and then I'm bringing Dennis de Guzman up into C between Dimitri and Anthony LaRusso.
For sure. That looks good.
That looks right. Nice. That does look right. Okay. Here we go. Devin Lee looks badass in her picture. Yeah. She looks like she's from an old action movie.
Totally.
Give you guys a little look there. That's her picture. It's real small, you know. Devin Lee, how badass is she? What's your gut right away? Let's see if on 3, we're both going to say our gut. All right. 3, 2, 1,
C.
B. Ooh.
B.
I know. I don't know, though. I keep wanting to go B, and no one's earning it. Definitely not F. But I think she's pretty badass, dude. She's a natural eagle.
Yeah, you're right. That's a pretty badass thing to do.
Eagle Fang Karate is badass. She learns from her mistakes. She doesn't run away from them. She eventually owned up to her mistake she made with the pooper.
She's tenacious.
She's smart.
She's always trying to learn and get better. Yeah, right.
She's always going to be harder to defeat the next time you fight her.
Good point. Let's do it. She's B tier.
Look at that, Devin Lee.
Sorry, everybody else.
Dude, B tier is fucking badass. Allie Mills, Amanda LaRusso, Bobby Brown, and Devin.
Yep.
That's nice. Although, C tier could get some stuff accomplished.
Well, there's so many of them there.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Colonel Dugan. How badass is he?
Not badass at all. He's an
Karate
F.
Kid 4.
F, dude. He's manipulating teenagers, not even teaching them karate.
You know what? Cruz and Train Cruz end up becoming cool with Mr. LaRusso, and Duggan never sees the error of his ways.
It's true.
Yeah, Duggan, worst.
Yeah, you're the
least badass character so far in all of Cobra Kai and Karate Kid.
It's true.
Doogie Howser, dude. Get out of here. All right.
Although, who plays him?
Oh, Mikey Ironsides.
Pretty badass.
That's the thing. Michael Ironsides, just in general, probably at least an A tier badass.
Yeah.
Like, let's see, what's a good? Oh, obviously Starship Troopers. Michael Ironsides.
Yes, definitely.
And then Total Recall. He's trying to capture Arnold Schwarzenegger.
What a weird sci-fis.
Yeah, man. So Ironsides does some good pictures.
Yeah.
Dutch.
Iron sci-fis.
Dutch is a madman.
Dutch he's a very badass.
Yeah, I would say that if he was
so badass, he can't function in society.
Yeah, his alignment is chaotic badass.
Yeah.
So that's at least C.
It's got to be at least B.
I don't know though, because he went so down the wrong path that he brought it too out into the street. That's not badass. Like, he's the only one that never learned.
Yeah, it's true, but there's something badass about never learning, right?
That's season 1 and 2, sort of. You think he's in B, dude?
He's way more badass than Bert.
Yeah,
and he's way more badass than Guzman. De Guzman. And he's way more badass than Anthony.
Don't you say that.
Dude, he is. Dutch?
Yeah, all right.
He's the most badass of all the OG Cobras.
All right. Well, I don't know.
He should at least be on the level of Bobby.
Carmen is messing up the whole list for me. I can't make sense anything with because I'm like, is Dutch more badass than Carmen? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
so.
of course. He's a fucking, what do you call it? A loose wire?
A loose cannon?
Yeah, he's a loose cannon.
What are they? A live wire.
Yeah.
He's a loose wire. He's what is he?
He's the reason the light bulb keeps flickering out.
Empty wagon. No, that's not it. Yeah. All right.
I mean, he's not nice like the rest of them, but you know what? That's not really what it is.
It's not the B. It doesn't mean you're all badass
Yeah,
but friendly.
yeah.
That's not what it means. All right, Grace Nichols,
Tori's mom.
Tori's mom, badass,
Single mom?
Yeah. Surely on the list.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think an F either.
I don't think an F.
I would probably say that I could have her and Carmen Diaz as kindred spirits over there on C.
Yeah, C sounds good.
But do you think she's more badass? Did Grace Nichols? I don't know. They had pretty similar, like a rough, single mom.
Really, Grace just got sick, so we kind of don't know.
Well, she got physically assaulted.
Oh, Kreese killed her. Yeah.
No, she had wounds on her arm. That's why they're on the run. You know what I mean? Like she was in a bad relationship.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I mean, after that, she got sick, so we don't really know what she could have accomplished.
Yeah. Well, she turned Tori into the girl she is. That's pretty badass.
True.
But
at least C.
Carmen made Miguel as well. So.
Yeah, at least C.
Yeah. More badass than D. Snyder.
Well, I
Come
don't know.
on, dude.
Maybe.
What? You need to calm down with this D. Snyder malarkey.
I
I put him on the list as a LARF.
Well, I'm just saying he is badass.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. You could put her.
You're putting in D. Snyder for his whole
life.
Yeah,
Because it's canon. He's D. Snyder. His life is canon to the show.
Yeah. All right. I'm putting
All right,
her
that's fine.
above fucking D. Snyder.
That's
I'm putting
fine.
Anthony above D. Snyder
No,
in a second,
do not.
dude. I'm going to do it. Dennis de Guzman's going up.
I'm not going to take it.
Yeah. It's hard.
No,
you can't
I'm
say,
not going to take it.
No, dude. With that kind of stuff.
No, do not.
I'll put him.
Do not. I'll flip this
Did you
table
see
over.
who I put him less than, dude?
I'll flip this
Carrie
one.
Underwood's,
No,
dude.
that's ridiculous.
All right, fine. Carmen Diaz, Grace Nichols, D. Snyder. That's the way that the C starts. The way the cookie crumbles. This fucking guy. All right, Gunther Braun. What do you got up your fucking sleeve now, tough guy?
Pretty badass, right?
Yeah, we didn't get to see enough to probably give him his correct answer.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I do agree with what you said about D. Snyder that because he's on the show, we do have to take the rest of what that all did happen.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know any
We don't
specifics.
know if he ever won the tournament, the Sakai Takai. We know that he was in it.
Former competitor, they call him,
Yeah,
right?
so he probably didn't win.
But being in the Sakai Takai is
You're the top 20 fighters in the world.
that's pretty badass.
Or whatever it is, yeah.
Or whatever, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also he never won. That seems unlikely.
Yeah.
He must have won. Former champion, they probably call him.
Let's say it. Let's
Let's give him one, right?
B.
B, I can go B. Gunther Braun. I mean, you know what? I don't think it's badass that he kicked Daryl in the face, though.
Daryl stepped to him,
Daryl didn't know
He
what
laid down a challenge.
Yeah, when you lay down a challenge, you have to answer it. Who was the person who said that? Oh, that was something
That was
Chris said.
Chris said to Dimitri.
Yeah. That was
Not
something.
right.
Yeah, you're like, what? No one even remembers that rule.
Yeah, nobody said that.
All right, but Braun is more badass than
Dutch. Yeah. And probably Devin.
Yeah, I agree.
But probably not Bobby.
No, Bobby's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Bobby might be more badass than Amanda and Allie.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
All right. Maybe it was just his hair there.
Amanda might be more badass than Allie.
I agree.
Yeah.
Do you think Allie should be not in the Beast? Why is Allie so badass? Oh, because she's a
She just
heartbreaker,
is.
dude. Heartbreakers
She's just
are
got
badass.
that attitude about her.
She does.
It's
She's
less
so
about what she
cool.
does and more about just the way she carries herself.
Oh, look at her jacket.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
badass. That's a badass jacket.
Yeah.
All right.
If you tell us how many times we said badass in this, we'll give you $1. Anybody.
I don't know if we
Send you $1 to your home. 4 quarters.
We'll send you the amount of $1.
50 pennies and 2 quarters, and as long as you can provide us with a proper number.
Yep, and we will get that to you as soon as we get it.
Mm-hmm.
Hawk.
B.
Hawk is absolutely at least a B because he's a prototype Dutch. Like Dutch was his
you're right.
inspiration. So
Yeah, but he's more he fixed himself.
Agreed.
So he's definitely more badass than Dutch.
I think Hawk had one of the greatest journeys in the whole show. I'm not trying to say that he should be an A.
You know what? Maybe he should be an A.
But I think he should be top of the B.
He did learn all the styles.
He
right?
did. He knows
and he
all
did win the
the
All Valley.
crimes. And
he's Hawk.
He's Hawk, so he's
He flipped
badass.
the script. He got the tattoo.
That's like one of the most badass things you can do is flip the script.
Yeah, Hawk's an A for sure.
I think Hawk's an A.
Yep.
Unexpected, right?
Kind of obvious, but I kind of didn't expect it.
I had a tough time trying to decide what Hawk I wanted. I originally just had a picture of him with his head shaved.
Eli Moskowitz.
Yeah. And then I was like, once I decided I was going to get a picture of Hawk, I was like, which fucking Hawk? And I went with this one, blue. It seems like that was when after he had.
That was Unified Hawk.
Had the most growth.
Yeah,
for sure. Hector Salazar.
Oh, abandon your family? F tier, you piece of shit.
You're worse than Dugan. Because Dugan didn't abandon his family.
Or we don't know about it. He probably did too.
He's a military-ish man.
Yeah.
I don't know where he was a colonel, but
yep.
He certainly was mean to Miyagi like he fought.
Yes.
Brother. Dugan.
Fucking Salazar.
Scumbag.
Get an F,
sorry,
dude.
Cruz.
F yourself.
I'm sorry Cruz has to be so close to these gentlemen. Goodness gracious. All right, up next we have a fan favorite, Homeless Lynn.
Well, you got to be at least a little badass to be homeless.
Agreed. You just have a toughness to you.
C?
I think C. I think
right above Captain Turner, maybe?
I agree.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
The C's are filling up.
Yep. C, a lot of guys.
A lot of guys in C. A lot of guys. Look at that. It's S up there. Just Mr. Miyagi and Daniel.
The way it ought to be.
Hanging out.
Yep.
All right. Let's get a look at the pool, dude. This is what we got left, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, about 30 left. All right. Here we go. Jessica Andrews.
F.
Where in the F's do you think? She's more
above Cruz after Chris.
Now,
what did she ever do that was even remotely badass?
You think you don't know, but I have an answer that you will accept.
Hit me.
She's a fucking spelunker, dude. That's badass. She's a rope climbing is badass.
Dude,
and I know you agree.
Absolutely right.
I know you agree.
C. Over Bert.
Yes, dude.
Bert is afraid of heights.
That's exactly what I thought. I was like, oh, definitely right between bong rips
Would
and
she
Bert.
do bong rips and skinny dips? I don't think so. Not badass.
I think she could. Think about how fun she was when she came back on Cobra Kai.
That's true.
That lady's doing bong rips and skinny dips.
You're right. Okay, so right next to bong rips then.
Yeah. Let's go one more badass than bong rips,
definitely.
actually.
Almost as badass as Captain Turner.
Almost.
She makes that hellacious mac and cheese.
Hellacious mac and cheese,
You can
guys.
put bacon bits in there.
Oh,
it's great.
my God. I love that. Okay. Up next.
Jimmy.
Y'all know him. Y'all love him.
Like,
it's Jimmy.
see? He's like the worst Cobra, probably.
Name anything badass about Jimmy.
He seems nice.
Seems
Seems like a nice guy.
Carrie Underwood's a nice guy.
Yep. F. Jimmy's an F.
Jimmy is the top of the Fs.
Yep, that's true.
Because he's a nice guy.
Yep. And they never even said like, yeah, remember that one tournament where Jimmy beat Vidal in one?
Dude,
You're like,
that was
nope,
awesome.
they never
Or,
said that.
Man, remember when Jimmy beat up those guys in that parking lot or
Nope.
got all those babes? I mean, he fought alongside his buddies. You know, he got beat up by Mr. Miyagi, and then they beat up those guys in that bar in Cobra Kai.
He had a good moment. But
Yeah, so
F.
is he more badass than Aisha?
Yeah, he's an OG Cobra.
Yeah, you're right. So that's why he's on the list.
Yeah, you're in the gang.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Sensei John Kreese. Now, what are we going to do here, my friend?
Gotta go A. Because he's
more badass than Amanda LaRusso.
Yeah.
I'm saying that like as a fact,
he's
not a
smoking
question.
stogies.
Stogies
He's kind of a
badass.
grizzled old man, but he's
Yep.
good looking.
Yeah.
He knows mad karate.
He fought to the death over a snake pit. That's badass, whether it's righteous or not.
He served in Nam. That's badass.
That's badass. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
The fact that she got badass points for telling him to go fuck himself means that he's actually badass.
Oh, and also he fucking redeemed himself.
And he redeemed
that
himself,
I'm counting.
yep.
I think that's really the most badass thing you can do is redeem yourself. To learn from being a piece of shit and grow from it.
Yep.
Dimitri didn't do as good a job as Hawk.
It's true.
He never flipped the script. Dimitri
he refused to. He's too much of a nerd.
He gently turned the pages and eventually became a better version of himself and a better martial artist, but he never flipped the script.
Right.
All right, let me scroll down. Oh. Johnny Lawrence.
Johnny Lawrence. I mean, Mr. Badass himself.
Yep. The most badass of all the characters besides Mr. Miyagi, probably.
Yes.
And Daniel's badass for like all the other shit he did.
But Johnny, is trying to be badass and accomplishing it.
But who's more badass, Johnny or Daniel?
It's Johnny because the snake on his back.
It's because of the snake on his back.
Right, the car, the fucking,
the
mixtapes.
Some of the more superficial badass stuff.
Yeah, like he listened to badass music, and Daniel listens to yacht rock.
He's a fancy boy, or like classical or some shit.
Yeah, Dean Martin.
Yep. Dean Martin badass though. That old the croon is badass.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Miyagi, Johnny Lawrence, Daniel LaRusso up at the top. Everybody's just leftovers now. Oh no, there's a couple big heavy hitters in here. Julie Pierce. How badass is Julie Pierce? What were the obstacles in Julie's life?
She was getting bullied by a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, that's not great.
And then she learned karate and beat their ass.
She had a lot of backup too.
What do you mean?
All those monks and Mr. Miyagi and
Chris,
dude. Original
Chris. Yeah,
Chris.
but Chris was a puss.
Chris was a puss.
He was like, oh, I don't want to fight these guys. You fight them, Julie.
She did rock jump.
They beat him up, and then she had to save him.
Yeah. She did the big jump, though. That was cool.
She did the big jump. She listened to the Cranberries.
Yeah.
Doing monk training, it's badass.
I don't think that Julie Pierce is more badass than Amanda LaRusso, even though Amanda LaRusso doesn't know karate.
I don't think she's more badass than Carmen Diaz. She never had to pick up her family and flee
That's
the
what I'm
country
saying.
for the
I don't
betterment
really
of their
feel
own.
like she was up against it as hard.
Well,
except for all the
bullying.
Being a human woman.
Yeah, that's bad too.
They were really giving her the business.
So about as badass as Homeless Lynn, maybe? Maybe not even?
Well, she's not an F.
No,
right?
she's
so
not.
She's a C?
Yeah, I was thinking C, yeah.
She's more badass than Dimitri.
I mean, yeah, she would probably beat up Dimitri. I think she knows more karate and is stronger.
Yeah.
She's a brick shit house.
Is she more badass than Dee Snider? She might be.
Maybe.
How about After Grace?
Yeah, that's fair.
How about that?
I mean, she is a karate kid.
Yeah, come on.
Pretty badass.
Even if she is, the next karate kid.
Yeah.
Oh, dang, dude. Jessica got pushed down there with Bong Rips and Bert.
They're going to have a fun time, though.
Evil-ass Hector Salazar is still at the bottom by himself.
Ooh, Kenny Payne.
Kenny Payne is very cool. Very
yes.
cool. He should rank highly on this list, but not too high.
My gut says B.
Yeah, I'm with B. I think that's an easy decision.
Maybe before Devin. Above Dutch, above Devin.
Yeah. I think Kenny's more badass than
Gunther?
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe even Bobby.
I think he is too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he also stood up to his mentor.
Yep. That's pretty badass.
Remember when he went, he did the crank fucking middle finger?
That was badass. Is Kenny more badass than Allie and Amanda, actually? Now that I'm thinking about it. Kenny's raw badass.
Well,
he's a little nerd.
He might be more badass than Allie, but remember Amanda had to come tell him to stop being a pussy?
Yeah, that's true.
So
okay.
In the hierarchy,
Boom.
she wins. Yep. Nice.
Kenny Payne, strong appearance in the tier list. Second place to Commander Amanda LaRusso.
Commander Amanda LaRusso, yep. If that guy could be a colonel, she's a commander.
Sub-Commander Kenny Payne and Allie Mills. All right. We're looking to find out where in the tier list are we going to put that Kokomo chick.
Kumiko.
Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, pretty mama. Kumiko?
Jeez, I don't know.
Kumiko's not badass at all.
No. F.
Yeah, she's like,
Come on.
I'm going to put
a Dear Chosen note and not a fucking phone call?
Yeah, ooh, all right. Well, I was going to put her before
Coward.
I was going to put her before Jimmy, but now
after Jimmy, after Aisha, after Carrie Underwood. Well,
Carrie Underwood in general is just, I think, more. She's just more badass. She's more flashy.
It's true.
Kumiko's pretty reserved. She's
Yep.
quiet. I mean, those are all nice traits, but they ain't badass.
She's a wonderful person,
She's
but
great.
she's not
Well,
badass.
I mean, yeah, she hurt Chosen, and I love him, even though it's not her fault. He
I
did try to kill her.
completely agree with
It's
everything
complicated.
you're saying. Yeah, it's very complicated. I wouldn't marry him either after he pulled a
wouldn't.
knife to my throat.
No. I'd be like, no, dude, you did the keep for collection too many times.
Yeah.
Tried to kill me. The zipline was badass.
Very
but-
badass.
Yeah. And she loves Daniel.
Yeah, that's not badass either. That's lame. You love a guy who came into your life and you're fucking when you were 19
Well,
and then just disappeared forever, and then you still love him
that's super
forever, and you're
romantic.
not going to be with anybody else.
that's pretty romantic.
It is very romantic.
That's super
Yeah,
romantic.
You're right. It is.
In the storm and everything.
Yeah,
and the
that was.
zip line.
I mean,
dude,
it was fucking.
she
If this is a romantic list, then yeah, it should be very high.
Yeah, that's true. Quan, but not forgotten. Quan Se-jung, R.I.P.
Quan, very badass.
Almost too badass though.
Yeah, for
a
his
little
own
too,
good.
A little too raff.
He's the flame burned too hard, right, or too bright. I don't know.
Jeremy with his ancient sayings. Fire burnt too hard.
B, right next to Dutch because he's kind of a Dutch.
Yeah.
You know.
I would like him to be above Dutch though.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
he does more badass. He's more badass than Devin also.
Yeah, because he's got so many good one-liners.
I
number
think
2,
he's actually-
remember what he called Robbie Miguel number 2?
Yeah.
That was sick.
Yeah. I think he's more badass than Bobby.
You're right.
Yeah, all right. Whoa. He was trying to bust his ass right up to the S tier. He tried to stab his way in there, but that's a mistake every day of the
Is
week.
he more badass than Allie?
I think so.
Yeah. But he's not more badass than Kenny. Although Quan and Kenny Payne, both very badass names.
Super badass. And like very badass demeanors, both of those guys.
But that would be, I'd like to see that fight,
Dripping
actually.
with swagoo, dude.
Yeah,
if this
for
was
sure.
a swagger list, Quan would be fucking SS, SS, 4 S's.
4 S's, super special.
Super special.
duper.
Super special. Damn it. I was going to say sexy, but that didn't feel right. It's the only other S word I could think of.
Superior.
Oh. Yep. Sinister. Doesn't mean you're awesome, but he was sinister.
Kyler.
Kyler Park.
I love Kyler.
I love Kyler too, but he's...
He is kind of badass.
He is badass.
Well, one, because he's kind of big and strong.
he learned his lesson. You
Then-
know how I feel about
Then he
it.
learned karate.
Yep.
Bitch, don't you know I know karate?
Yes.
Come on.
Bitch, don't you know I know karate?
I would say right after Julie Pierce on C.
Right after Julie Pierce on C.
That's my gut.
I can get behind that.
Because he's definitely more badass than
Anthony and Dennis
Anthony
and
Dennis.
Dimitri
Yep.
and Homeless Lynn, obviously.
And I'll give him
Everyone
D. Snyder.
everyone understands
You know?
what we're saying. Yeah. Definitely. That's awesome. All right, Lucille LaRusso. She packed up her bags, heading out west.
Yep. Moved her son across the
gonna
country,
take my
single mom, to try to make a better life for him.
Yep.
You know, she's kind of annoying a little bit. When it comes to
especially if you're an
Amanda.
Amanda fan. You're like, shut up, dude. The pasta's fine the way it is.
But there's probably lots of people who are like, "Oh, I'm on her side because I like the Karate Kid."
And we love badass moms.
Yep.
And she is, she lost the love of her life, dude. That
True.
stinks. To watch them slowly rot away.
High C,
High
tier?
C, I think. Yeah.
right after Carmen.
Should we mom them up, dude?
Yeah.
Should we mom squad, dude? Dude, the moms are dominating fucking C. The dudes have no chance in C level. Kyler's trying. D. Snyder's doing what he can, but they
trying
don't
to
want
hold the line.
They said, "Get out of here, you twisted sister. We don't want none of that. We ain't gonna take that."
All right.
Excellent. Okay, Lyle. How badass is Lyle?
I mean, he's cool.
But okay, I'm gonna say something that I think you're gonna agree with. Lyle has to be more badass than Bert.
Oh,
He has a fucking store. That's
He has
badass.
3 stores.
3 stores.
And a pawn shop is the most badass store you can have because they
Yeah.
have guns and knives and bayonets and
So he
stuff.
must like being around cool shit.
Yeah.
He had that axe.
You're right. Okay.
So he's definitely more badass than Bert. I think he's more badass than Bong Rips and Jessica.
Yes. And he's probably a little less badass than Captain Turner,
Yeah.
right?
I'm wondering if Captain Turner actually isn't more badass than Homeless Lynn.
Yeah. I think so.
Maybe Captain Turner's supposed to be up where above, like right below D.
Guzman?
Snyder.
Oh, yeah, do it.
Yeah. We're going to do it, guys. We're
adjusting the list.
We're adjusting the list.
In real time.
Remember we were like, should we adjust the list?
Yeah.
No, we'd have been stuck with a list that doesn't make any damn sense. Because now we can fit Lyle in, I think, a little better.
Yep.
Right after Dimitri, I think. Lyle is more... no judgment on someone who is homeless.
Listen, we're
but
one bad paycheck away from being homeless, but it is much more badass to build a sustainable business.
Yeah, I don't know why they won't let me fucking...
Oh, man, I just saw this thing that was like in the city
They
we
won't
live
let
in.
me friggin' put Lyle...
Oh, shit.
Oh, they're messing with our list.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, they think they can mess with our lists, dude?
No, when you're on the beeps and boops.
No, dude. Oh. Oh, no. There we go. Right?
Yep.
Or, no, Anthony's more badass than Dennis. There we go.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Wait, Lyle's not more badass than Anthony?
No, he's definitely not. He doesn't know any karate.
Okay.
Oh,
Lyle
boy.
is there now.
Okay. It's getting too long. That's why it's getting hard
Yeah.
to,
Oh,
to
Jesus.
manipulate.
Now I've done it. All right. Well, the tiers within the tiers, not a thing now. Because apparently once you go to 2 fucking rows, this thing loses its mind.
Got it.
Okay. Up next, we have Master Kim. Wow, that's a tricky one because that guy's a fucking scoundrel, dude.
He is, but
he's
obviously
badass.
a little bit badass because he's like a karate master.
I think he's top B.
Yeah, I agree.
I know that's pretty crazy
Yep.
because he's such a jerk. But
Yeah, but sometimes being a jerk will get you there.
Yep.
Yep,
Bada boom.
definitely.
That was an easy one. Master Kim. Miguel Diaz.
That's an A-tier badass, my
That's
friend.
an A-tier badass.
100%.
I'm going to go with more badass than Chosen because he didn't need to go as dark.
True, he did go a little dark, but not murder dark.
He was always in his heart a great person.
Yeah, he just kind of, yep.
And he has had to overcome incredible odds with being
right.
a nerd, being a loser, and then
Breaking
breaking
his
his
back.
body,
Yep.
and then kind of giving up on karate, but then fighting his way back into karate and becoming the hero again.
Yep.
That's badass.
Very
Chosen
badass.
story, very badass. Not quite as badass.
Mm-hmm.
Settled, guys. Mikey Barnes, dudes. Mikey Barnes-Aziz.
B after Master Kim, maybe. Badass, super good at karate. But kind of being a mercenary for Cobra Kai is not the
I
coolest
think
thing.
Amanda's more badass than Mike Barnes.
Oh wow.
I think he's between Kenny Payne and Amanda.
All right. Yeah, that sounds good.
You can get behind that.
Yeah, I can definitely get
I
behind
bet
him.
people
Yeah.
who don't like Amanda wouldn't like that. But you're in the wrong place, pal.
Well, but Kenny Payne made it to Sakai Takai, and Mike Barnes never did, and that was like his whole thing.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Well, so did Kwansei Jung.
True,
then.
but he died, so
Right. Yeah.
sorry.
You unfortunately lose some points when you get killed. It's just how the cookie crumbles. Okay, Moon. Listen, Moon's F because she's not badass.
Yeah, you're
She's
right.
a great person and she has awesome.
You're right. S.
Principles.
Just principles. Yeah.
Did you say S?
Yeah.
She is wonderful. I think that she is the number one F just because, again, you get to go to the one if you're the nicest person in F.
Exactly.
Because that's badass.
Yes.
Sorry, Kumiko. We decided Jimmy's nicer than you. And Aisha is badass.
Jimmy
so-
is really nice.
Yeah. Nate.
Nate F.
Yep.
Way less badass than Bert.
Nate.
Remember they threw him through the window?
Yep. I really don't like this putting him up on the tier.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Well, it is what it is.
You know?
Maybe we can find a different page next time.
Yeah.
Comment with a superior, tier list page thing. I see another F coming on the horizon.
I got Nate out of there. He's down at the bottom. Oh my God, it's penis breath, dude.
Better than Nate,
Yeah.
but right next to Chris.
Yep.
Worse than Chris. Because
Yeah.
Chris was a better person. Chris never betrayed anybody. Penis breath betrayed everybody 5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the worst.
He's down there. Penis breath is worse than Hector Salazar.
Yeah, I guess
Only
so.
because I can't put him where I want
That's
to put
fair.
him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Unfortunately. This list has failed me. All right, Robbie Keane, dude.
A.
Yeah.
B. I love Robbie so much.
Wow,
He's my
that was
favorite
crazy.
character.
That's fast. You went.
He's my favorite character.
Yeah.
But
Well, let's look at the A's. Let's look at the B's. Miguel shows
is
him.
emotional resilience badass?
Yes.
Well, Robbie's
All
very
resilience
badass. Is forgiving your
Yeah.
shitty father badass and just allowing that relationship to repair itself?
Yeah. No.
He did all the work
yeah,
on that.
Bro, I'll tell
A.
you what about Robbie. No, don't be ridiculous.
S.
Right next to
Miguel, the brothers.
because they even Robbie never tried to kill anyone. Chosen tried to kill someone. Axel accidentally killed someone. Hawk would kill someone, and John Kreese killed someone.
And Robbie
Killers.
tried to kill Miguel,
Yeah.
right?
Whoops! Oh, I had the screen all shitty. Yes. Okay,
Fair.
we're settled.
Love it.
Excellent. Rosa Diaz. Now we don't even know what sort of stuff Rosa's had to go through.
No.
I would be happy to put
More badass than Lyle.
right. Well, now it doesn't matter because I can't fix it. But
Oh,
yes,
all right.
we should talk about it.
Okay.
More badass than Lyle. I agree.
Yeah. More badass than Homeless Lane.
Yeah. More badass than Anthony?
Yeah. But not as
But
badass
not-
as Bert.
No. Rosa's way more badass than fucking Rosa.
Smoking weed, dude?
Yeah, dude.
Come
smoking weed's
on.
bad. Wait a minute. I know where Rosa needs to go.
Where? 420? Oh, yeah.
Right next to fucking D. Snyder.
Yeah, dude.
Right before Bert and Anthony.
Yep, absolutely.
That's awesome. Samantha LaRusso, the bonsai badass. It begins with B for a reason. I think Sam's badass. But
I think
I'm a
Sam's
huge
badass,
Sam.
too.
I'm a Sam fan.
I like Sam. You don't think she's A with the guys?
Oh, well, I don't like the way you said that. You made it a sexist thing.
No, I didn't.
Because
I wasn't
she's
saying
you
that.
said with
I
the
mean,
guys, Jeremy.
I think
that
we both
sounded-
know that where Tori's going to go. So, right?
Tori's more badass than Sam.
Yes, exactly.
I think that Sam is
Sam's
more
a-
badass than Master Kim because he's got a dark heart and Sam has a golden heart.
I
Even
agree.
though she
and
is
she's more badass than
snobby.
Amanda because she knows karate. That's
Yeah.
the only reason.
And she's only
Otherwise-
snobby because her parents are snobby.
But at the end, she got cool.
She got super cool.
Yeah, she got
So
so
do her
cool, she
parents.
didn't need to
Yeah.
prove how badass she was.
Yeah, she realized the true path is to
B.
be
She's
your-
the top B.
Be
She's
yourself.
The badass.
She bees herself, dude.
She beats herself.
Come on up here, Sammy. I love Sam. Sam is up there, probably top 3 favorite characters. For
Really?
Me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do like her. I think her story gets more interesting in the end.
I might be Miguel, Sam, maybe the Hawkman.
Those are your top 3 characters?
I think so.
Hawk has provided
Well-
many excellent moments watching
Yeah.
Cobra Kai where
Yeah.
you feel something. you
I
know?
fucking love Robbie too, though, dude.
Yeah.
I love Robbie with all my dang heart.
Yep.
All right, who we got over here? How about Sato? Old school. That's
Kind
an
of
O-
got to take their word for it,
That's-
which, is fair.
Yeah, this is OG Miyagi.
Then
That's what that shit is.
Then he's an A tier, right?
He has to be. Look at him. Look at how the business he put together, whether it was evil or otherwise.
Yeah, it's true.
So what are you saying?
I said A, just based on, but now you're
No,
B.
Sato's not more badass than Master Kim.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
But he is
Look
more
at those
badass
sunglasses.
than Amanda LaRusso.
Yes. Yep. Because he can make your limo go wherever it
Yep,
wants.
that's badass.
And then you're all of a
Well,
sudden you're in a warehouse.
Amanda LaRusso could make a limo go wherever she wants,
Well, yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Master Kim, no limo-based powers.
Nope.
None for him. Okay. Let's see who's up. We have Sensei Kim Dae-yoon. A, yeah.
She's
I
an
agree.
A. Come on.
I agree.
Probably right next to Shozen. Yeah. Yep. I mean,
Same
it
but
speaks for
different.
itself.
Same but different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Excellent.
She stood up to her grandfather. That's pretty badass.
Sensei Wolf.
That's an A.
Sensei Wolf.
Yeah.
Coming on up to
I mean-
A.
What, you thinking B? He's not as badass as Samantha LaRusso.
Kind of.
All right.
But I guess.
All right, talk it out.
No, because Sam is super badass, but she's not outwardly badass. It's just sort of the way she
But
is.
is he?
Yeah, dude.
He's kind of a cool guy.
Antioxidants. That's how you say antioxidants.
That's not what badass guys say.
Badass guys are so badass that they can say antioxidants and sound badass.
Yeah, okay, good point.
I mean, I hate to drop a
All
trippy
right.
quaddy badass on you,
That's a
but
good point.
I think he's less badass than John Kreese, more badass than Sam LaRusso. Just on
There it is.
that he has a special move and
Yeah, you're
a
right.
badass dojo
He
that
was
he
in
made.
that underground fighting ring.
He was like, you know what? My dojo has the word dragons in it because dragons are badass, but my name, Wolf.
Yeah.
Not my real name, but
True.
my sensei.
He's like, you
name.
idiots probably couldn't say my real name.
Yeah. What is his name? Feng Shu or something. I forget what it is. Shannon Keene.
F.
Whoa.
Fuck. Robbie's mom?
Yeah.
Not that badass.
No. More badass.
Not really responsible.
More-
I mean, eventually she got her shit together, but she really let her kid fucking.
Yeah. More badass than
I
Louis.
mean, not that
Anush,
being
though.
responsible makes you badass, but I can't think of anything else she did that would be cool.
I'm putting her next to Kumiko
Yeah. Nice lady.
because these
But-
guys on the bottom are all losers.
Yeah. it's
These
true.
are just grade A losers.
You're right.
And Cousin Louie and Anush are fighting so hard not to
They're
get
cool. They're funny, though. So
Yeah.
they get to.
Daryl.
They're the Bulk and Skull.
Yeah, they might be cooler than Daryl.
Yeah, they are cooler.
They're
Well,
cooler than Daryl.
It's a badass name for a dojo.
That's
The Blue
badass.
Mats.
Yeah, Blue
Yeah.
Mats. But then he
No.
gets knocked out, but so does Cousin Louie and so does Anush. They all get beat up.
I mean, getting clean is badass. I'm not saying that.
That's what I know. That's why. Yeah,
That's the only thing she did that was badass, though.
Yeah. And she tried to take care of Robbie.
You're right. Johnny walked away
It's
and
not
she
fair
stepped up.
to say that, Grace Nichols didn't get hooked on drugs, but she could have.
Good point.
It's not Shannon's fault,
But,
per
you
se.
know, it's all kind of regular person stuff.
But I don't like the way that she was being with Robbie when he was grown, and she
Yeah.
had the guy in the dark, and
Yeah, nobody liked that.
and Robbie wanted to have the special meal, and she
You wanted to have
didn't.
special pizzas with
Yeah,
her?
I don't like that.
I didn't like
I
that.
I think that mom should have
That was
special
not badass.
pizzas with their special boys.
Exactly.
That's just the world I live in. Sean Payne, on paper, Sean Payne's badass.
Yeah,
dude.
definitely.
Straight away, badass. That's a badass dude to know. Good thing I called that guy.
B.
Yeah, because he's more badass than Carmen, because Carmen's too chill to make it into the B's.
Exactly.
We can't put Sean next to Dutch. Do we just put all the criminals that are badass at the bottom
Well,
of B?
I mean, you know.
Well, you know what?
He's actually a little cooler than Dutch. Dutch
Yeah.
is insane.
Yeah.
Sean
I think
is
Sean's
like,
more badass than Bobby, too.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's more badass than Allie, to be honest.
Yep. There you go. Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
quite as badass as Quan.
Because you know what was badass? When he fucking told Kenny that he can't take all that Cobra Kai shit out into the streets. That was some badass brother
You're right.
stuff.
That was cool.
That was cool. Hell yeah, Sean Payne fought your way right up into the B's like a badass. Sid Weinberg.
F?
A master of...
Television shows. That's what he
Television.
makes. He's a producer.
But Sid did let Johnny have the ring, which was nice.
That's not badass.
No, you're right. Sid's the worst?
Bailing someone out of jail isn't badass. It's nice.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, Penis Breath and Sid aren't necessarily in the right spot, because I would like to put Hector in the worst, because at least
Yeah.
Sid tried
He
to
had
make
moments of being a genuinely
Yeah,
good person.
He tried to make it look like nice things were happening on the inside, even though they weren't. Hector just left like a fucking punk.
I mean, Sid did take care of Johnny
And
many
his
times
mom.
for a long time.
Yeah.
So
And he loved Johnny's mom. It might have been gross to see, but I'm sure he did love her.
he probably wasn't that old back then. Yeah.
No.
But he was definitely old.
All right, up
Okay.
next, Stingray. Now, Stingray's an interesting case
Yep.
because he is actively trying to be badass.
Yep.
And
But
that, that itself isn't really a badass thing to do, but does he pull it off?
I think sometimes he does pull it off. In this picture, he does.
Yeah, when he has the Stingray facial hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is he
But
more
he's
badass?
kind of a doofus.
He's a doofus. And
Yeah,
your
and he
doofus,
fucks everything up.
Yeah.
But he tries.
Your doofusosity.
Yeah, he's
can-
right there with Dimitri, I think.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
He's attempting, pulls it off sometimes, but not with a remarkable success rate.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't put him in that
That's
spot,
okay, but
so
he'll be in the C tier.
He's going to go above Bert because they work as a team.
They are best friends.
Yeah.
Which also brings Stingray's score down.
Yeah, I don't like how much you're hanging out with Bert, dude.
Yeah.
Not awesome. All right.
Although in like 8 years, when Bert's like 23 and Stingray's like however old he is, that might seem like a normal friendship.
Totally. And they both might be super badass by then.
Yeah.
Bert could be badass still. Especially now that he fucking blocked that punch and he's seen everyone go through it, and maybe Bert's finally going to be like, maybe it's time for Bert's story.
Yeah,
You know?
yes.
Let's see Bert's
You're right.
story.
He never got one.
Terrence Silver.
Got to go A tier,
Yeah, Terry Silver is a maniac and a gentleman.
right? He's
Crawling up the boards. All right, now.
Being really rich is kind of badass, even though,
Even though Dynatox was his company, that's
Yeah.
not very badass.
Yeah.
Is Terry Silver more badass than John Kreese? I don't know if he is.
No, he got blown up by him. Sorry.
Yeah. But he's more
Get in
badass.
line.
But he's more badass than Sensei Wolf.
Yes, because he hired him.
Yep.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, that
Yep.
looks right.
That does look right. Whoo! That's a hot contest up there. Tom Cole,
F.
F.
Yep.
Tommy.
C, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean-
Because he's nice.
No, F.
Put him in a,
What did Tommy ever
put him in
do?
a body bag.
Put him in a body bag. That was a little. But
he's
but he's before Jimmy. Jimmy didn't have a cool catchphrase.
Yeah. You're right. Tommy's not as badass as Moon, but he's more badass than Jimmy.
Yeah, I love it.
Tori Nichols.
A.
Bum,
A
bum,
class
bum, bum,
badass.
bum.
Right there with Robbie. Maybe ahead of Robbie.
Yeah, I think ahead of Robbie.
Yeah.
I think it goes Miguel, Tori, Robbie.
Yep,
Chosen.
for sure.
Yeah, I love that. That's nice. That's a good looking. That's a good looking.
Proud of it.
Me too. All right, Trey.
F. Put him right next to Cruz.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Hold on. I have to put them next to each other. So unfortunately,
Cruz gets jumped up a little bit. All right, but that's not official.
well,
These rankings are getting out of control.
where is There we go.
You got to put the teams together.
There we go.
Yeah. All right.
Now we're talking. All right, Vanessa LaRusso.
C.
More badass than.
Stingray.
I was gonna say more badass. I think that as far as badass goes,
Yeah.
I think Jessica Andrews is more badass than Vanessa LaRusso.
No way. Vanessa LaRusso comes in and tells everybody their fucking business.
That's not badass.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it's like, she's like, this is what
But
you're
it's
doing
not-
wrong, and this is
but-
what you need to do.
You know, but she doesn't do it in a badass. It's not like, oh shit, that was badass the way she told those.
I feel like
guys
they
their
want you to
business.
think it is.
I had her below Lyle, but then I was like, all right, she's more badass than Bong Rips and Lyle. Well, I can't put. Well, she's in C either way, right?
Put her above.
I
Put her
can't
right
put-
next to Homeless Lynn.
I can't put her above anybody in the bottom row. That's how the thing works.
All right, we'll see. I think she's a C.
Yeah, I think she's a C as well.
Okay, so we're just splitting hairs there.
Yeah. I just think she's
Definitely. Who's
low.
more badass, her or Homeless Lynn?
Homeless Lynn's more badass because she's homeless,
Yeah. Yep. She
and
knows where
she's
to
not
find-
as badass as Dimitri because she doesn't know karate.
All right, that's fair.
But she's more badass than Bong Rips and Lyle.
Yeah,
'cause
Dimitri
they're-
will also tell you your business, and
yeah.
that's annoying.
Yeah, it's mostly annoying. Vidal.
Fadal.
Fucking bottom of the bees.
Bottom of the bees. Yeah, like
Yeah.
right there with Dutch.
Yeah.
Like that'd be a good main event for a tournament.
Yep. These guys are intent on making my job difficult. Oh boy, now Bobby's in the wrong spot.
That's all right.
Well, I want Sam to have her spot. There we go. Oh well. Sorry, Bobby. Sorry, Ron. Xander Stone.
C? Pretty high, maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just his karate.
Yeah, that's just his karate.
I mean, being compassionate
Well,
is
yeah.
badass, but he's also kind of phony.
He's like is he phony? How do you know that?
Because I have a good read on people.
Well, it's a fictional character. That doesn't work like that.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe he's not phony. Maybe he's just,
I think he means it.
yeah. All right.
His mom feels a little phony, but
Then he's way more badass than Bert.
yeah, I agree.
Maybe
I think he might be
right after Carmen.
I was gonna put him after Rosa. Yeah, all right. After Carmen.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lucille.
Yeah.
Yasmin. Yasmin's a little badass.
She's mean.
Yeah, and she's confident.
Yeah,
And
she's
she learns
confident.
and she learns her lesson.
Yeah, you're right. If it was like came down to her versus Stingray for something, she would definitely win.
Yeah.
Even if it was fighting.
Yeah. So we're gonna put her in the C.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. We have 2 left.
Whoa.
Yundo Jin. Unitunes, dude. Mad about Yoon.
B?
B. Let's bring Yoon up to the B's and see what we're cooking with up here.
Right around Devin Lee.
Right around Devin Lee. Yeah, let's. Oh, that's how you get him to go to the end of the list. Oh, interesting. Now, will they let me? Whoops. Nope, they won't. Okay. Well. Oh, he's more badass than Sean Payne.
Okay.
You don't think so?
No.
I think there's the quiet confidence
All
of
right.
Yoon.
It's fine.
I don't know that he's more badass than Allie, though.
Well,
But we have Sean more badass than Allie. Last contender here, Zara Malik. At least a B, yeah.
probably an A, right?
Nah, I don't like how shitty she is.
What do you mean?
She's all karate.
True.
Yeah, she's mean. She's like
think-
self-centered. She's like a social media star.
True.
It seems like that's what's more important to her character
So
than
you're
her
saying
karate.
B.
Yeah, I'm saying under Sam.
Okay, that's fair.
She's less badass than the Bonsai Badass.
Yeah.
All right. That's
Wow,
it.
we tiered it.
We tiered it, bro.
S tier, Mr. Miyagi,
Hold on.
Johnny
let me get
Lawrence,
it
and
lined
Daniel
up.
LaRusso.
Okay, yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah. A tier, we have Miguel, Tori Nichols, Robbie Keane, Shozen, Sensei Kim, Axel, Hawk, John Kreese, Terry Silver, Sensei Wolf.
B tier, we have Sam LaRusso, Zara, Master Kim, Sato, Amanda LaRusso, Kenny Payne, the Powertrain, Mike Barnes, Quan, Yoon. Oh, Quan and Yoon reunited on the list.
That's nice.
Sean Payne, Ali Mills, Gunther Braun, Devin Lee, Vidal, Dutch, and Bobby Brown.
That's pretty good.
It's a strong group.
It's a strong group. C tier, things start to get a little crazy. Carmen, Xander, Stone, Lucille LaRusso, Grace Nichols, Julie Pierce, Kyler Park, Captain Turner, Dee Snyder, Rosa Diaz, Stingray, Burt, Anthony LaRusso, Dennis de Guzman, Dimitri Alexopoulos, Homeless Lynn, Jessica Andrews, Bong Rips, Lyle, Vanessa LaRusso, and Yasmin.
And on the F tier, we have Moon, Tommy, Jimmy, Aisha, Carrie Underwood, Kumiko, Shannon Keene, Daryl, Anoush, Cousin Louie, Train Cruz, Tom Cole, Chris, Nate, Colonel Dugan, Hector Salazar, good old Penis Breath, and Sid Weinberger.
Sid Weinberger, dude. Nice. Excellent. So our champions, obviously, Mr. Miyagi, Johnny Lawrence, Daniel LaRusso. Is there really that much of a surprise?
Pretty obvious, but hey, that's the tier. That's
right.
how it check out.
All right, guys, you can email us at cobraguys@hotmail.com. You could go follow us. You go sign up for the Patreon, patreon.com/cobraguys.
Yeah, please do that.
$5 tier, $10 tier, free tier. Also,
It's like
go
400
there.
audio podcasts on there and like 20 videos.
Absolutely.
all kinds of stuff.
Definitely. Like and subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll see you guys later.
All right.
Bonsai.
Bonsai.